Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the daily portrait practice. The last couple days, I haven't done live streams, which was kind of unplanned, but relaxed. And I hope that you have had a relaxing time too. I've been spending a lot of time with my family, and it just wasn't in the flow of things to squish in a live stream somewhere. And I feel like the last live stream where we worked on this piece, I felt like it was a really good one. So I hope that everyone has seen this one because the conversation was really interesting. And it's so nice to have you here, Corinna, Nana, and Kiki. Hello. Yes, I hope everyone has enjoyed their time. And we're going to work on this one. I also don't have an abundance of time right now, so I'm going to keep this one pretty brief because tomorrow is a birthday of one of our children and there are things to be done. So I want to keep this brief, but I wanted to get back to the streaming. I've missed it after 2 days off and I'm really happy to be here with you. So let's keep sketching. I also uploaded some references. So I was still uploading the daily reference, although I wasn't live streaming, and I would love to know if you managed to get those ones done. I saw that Lewis did, and the statue painting looked incredible. So that was really cool to see people still practicing, although I was not hosting the streams. So I'm working with watercolor sketches this month, and this is a really cool reference photo shared by Oliver Wassel Found Photos. If you are in the live chat or watching the replay, I would love you to say hello and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's work on this portrait. And yeah, were you here last time when we worked on this? Because I thought it was really interesting. And I have since been in touch with Sophie Strand, the author of The Flowering Wand, and said I would love to work on her portrait, and I'm really enjoying her work. And she said that that's cool. So soon we'll be working on a portrait of Sophie Strand. Wet media. Let's start without a drawing, shall we? Although I'm not sure. I want to keep this brief, so maybe I will start with a drawing because then I have the groundwork is already there. Because I've noticed in the past, this month, with the idea of wet media sketches, that a lot of them have been a lot longer than my dry media practice. And I feel like it's been super beneficial. I've been getting a lot out of the practice, going straight into watercolor. But today, it's good to keep things achievable and doable. And today's one of those days. And it has been a very full and wonderful weekend with family. And for those of you who've been hanging out waiting for the replay of the Exploring Possibilities webinar, I've been doing some editing, and this replay is going to be better than my past replays of the webinars and stuff because I did a higher resolution screen recording as well as the Zoom recording, and I've had to do editing to put that all together. So it's going to be a better replay. So you've had to wait for it, but it's going to be worth it. And I have uploaded it. I just need to send a mail out, and that will be going out soon. So thank you to those of you who have been persistent and asking, where's the replay? Where's the replay? And if you're not yet on my mailing list, you can sign up at the link in the description, and you will also be granted access to the replay as soon as I send it to my mailing list. Hi, Rachel. Another excellent reference, Krista. Indeed. This is such a cool reference. I love it. So many good ones from... I love drawing people that I'm in touch with and that I write to, and I'm like, hey, I'd love to draw you, and then like start a conversation, and that is something that I really appreciate and enjoy. But sometimes I'm just like, there's this incredible supply of images at All Wassail Found Photos, and sometimes when I don't have the time or the energy to communicate, and then this one just came up today, and I was like, oh, that's today's reference. This is so cool. The whole reference selecting process is always a bit different every day. And I wonder how it is for everyone else. I've heard from some people that they find that the reference finding is can be like a challenging aspect of making things, to find the right thing to work on. And sometimes it totally flows, and sometimes I have like this backed up collection of stuff I'm really looking forward to waiting to work on. And then sometimes I'm like, what are we going to do today? Until like 5 minutes before the live stream. So it's kind of different every time. Hey Martina. Rave 222, you are in the midst of tidying up mood. Can't stop. Got to take advantage of the executive functioning that's there. Excellent. I'm honoured to be in the background of your tidying up, if that's how this is working. Or maybe perhaps you're taking a break, but keep tidying up. That's great. Go with the flow of the clarifying, purging, order creating splurge. I go through phases. If you could only see my desk, there'd be like stacks of like everything I've been using in the streams is all here, and there's like stuff over there, and there's like brushes and stacks of work, and I have to go through these periodic purges of my workspace. All right, now I'm going to put some paint on. This has just been over 4 minutes, so this has been a very effective, brief beginning. Where are my paints? Here. I'm in the background, but like in your earphones, so quite directly into your brain canals. Wow, cool. I'm honoured to be plugged into your ears. I listen to a lot of things, and I've been listening to The Flowering Wand by Sophie Strand, and it's so cool. And I really dig it. So good. So yeah, I asked Sophie if we could. What's this? What am I going with here? This water looks kind of orangey yellow. This gold color. I had this nice gold color that I used. Golden. What if it was gold and green? Would that be good? We had a lot of green though recently. Gold and red. Gold, red, orange. Something like that. Something. Okay, I'll start by just putting some water down here. And I want this to be like sketchy and brief. So I have this kind of neat, brief drawing, and I'll put alizarin crimson up in here. Oh, it's nice just to touch the pigment to the wet paper and watch the gold and purple. Yeah. Gold and purple. Alizarin crimson could still be purple with some ultramarine blue. You're always suggesting purple. I am very fond of purple, so thank you for suggesting it. Particularly in this little palette right here that I've got, I love the alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue combination. And actually, I don't know why, but there are 2 ultramarine blues. And I might grab some of the one that I don't usually use and just put it in here. and see what happens. Which apparently has a more like granular thing going on. I was quite puzzled when I got this set of paints. I was like, why are there 2 ultramarines? Here and here. Those are 2 ultramarines. And one is finest, ultramarine finest, and the other one is ultramarine less fine. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what it's actually called, but the one is actually called ultramarine finest. But why is the other one less fine? I don't know. Maybe ultramarine finest is actually made from crushed lapis lazuli of the highest grade, I doubt. It's probably a synthetic blue. But I think that's what it used to be. Hey, Tommy. 2 ultramarine blues just to confuse the enemies. That's it. Maybe to confuse the friends too. To confuse all those prepared to be taken in by the confusion. We had excitement with the bunnies today. A couple of exciting things happened. One thing was that I found a very long dandelion, like 40 centimeters long, and I had seen a reel on Instagram, which I think Shannon shared with me, of a rabbit eating like a meter-long dandelion flower. And I was like, I've got to try that out without bunnies. So I did, and it worked, just all the way, non-stop. From the bottom, the base of the stem to the flower, just pulled that whole flower right in. And the second exciting thing was we put them in their kind of, we have the secure enclosure is on pavement, and that's where they spend the night and they can't dig their way out. And then so that they get that wild rabbit feeling, we also put them out in the grass in another enclosure, which is less secure. And we went out for a family walk today, and it was really nice. And then we got stuck at friends' place on the way back because they were in their garden, and then we're just chatting. And then Kira went home, and she called me and she was like, "The rabbits are gone. You've got to come." And the rabbits had dug their way out. And as I was approaching home, saw this cat. I was like, "A cat!" And the rabbits. They were about the same size. I'm not sure what the cat would do with the rabbits, but it was like uh-oh. But fortunately, all the rabbits were accounted for. They're all safe. They ran around. But I kind of wonder what they would even do. They know nothing else. Would they just go? Would they abandon us? Maybe. There's so much exciting stuff out there. Or would they feel safe when they just stay close to what they know? That's, I think, an interesting question. What would they actually choose to do? There have been moments where they've kind of been in between enclosures and accidentally, thanks to children, and they've just kind of stayed nearby. It's not like they've made a courageous dash for freedom. They kind of stay close. But I wonder, like, what would happen if we weren't there and they got out? What would happen? I did record the eating. I will send it to you. I recorded the eating. And I was so surprised because I just had one of these super long dandelions. And I was like, oh, if I've only got one, they're going to fight over it. They're going to be like, and pull it away from each other and whatever. But they didn't. I gave it to Shadow, the youngest and smallest of the bunnies, who is named Shadow. Also Lucky, which is short for lakritz, which is licorice. and lucky to be alive. But also called Shadow. It's kind of like it's a double name. There is not a consensus as to the name this bunny should have. So it is sometimes Lucky and sometimes Shadow, and it's very sweet. And perhaps due to its sweetness, or perhaps to its proximity, as I came near to the rabbits, Shadow got the flower. And Shadow looks a lot like the armoured rabbit that you sent to me, Krista, except without armour and smaller. How are we going? 15 minutes into the stream, 13 minutes into the portrait. Oh, got that hair bleeding into the skin going on. Nice. A certain amount of lack of control is always exciting with the watercolor. I'm looking forward to the watercolor month ending, and I wish it wouldn't end, because I've enjoyed exploring doing more directly with watercolor. But there are also other things that I enjoy. Should this have a background? What color should the background be? Let me know in the live chat. I'm a rabbit, Shadow of Luck. Yes, that's good. And they're probably thinking, now's our chance, freedom, maybe. So as I returned home, Kira was already home trying to round up these rabbits, and then Arvid had managed to get one, and the most evasive of the rabbits, the one who likes to bite me most, the mother of the offspring and wonderful Rosie La Rosa, who really, she's drawn blood. She's bitten me often. It's just her thing. She doesn't like to wait for food. She likes to bite. But I still love her. That's okay. That's just how she is. It's how she chooses to bite the hand that feeds. So I've learnt ways to be with her and anticipate her teeth. So Arvid was like coming at her from one direction, and she came like dashing towards me, and I like jumped over the fence and got in there and to intercept her evasive maneuvers, and then I was able to get her. And she's vocal. She's a vocal rabbit. And she was not happy to be caught, and she was grunting at me and telling me to put her down, and I didn't. And I brought her to safety. Sienna. A dark background. I have this color, and I think it's raw sienna, which is another color in this palette which confused me, which is this one, because I have had phases in my life where I've used burnt sienna a lot, and it has this wonderful red color, but I'm pretty sure this is raw sienna, which is just brown. I'll use that and see how dark I can get it. It is a beautiful reference photo. It's so nice. Lewis, so nice that you're here. Yes, Wazula, it's too royal for any shenanigans. The peasants got to keep up. Yeah. That could be it. She's black, and she's got this little bit of white on her nose, so when she does this like nose flicking things, which rabbits do, that's really cool. And she's like all black except for the little bit on the nose, and her two front paws are white, like she's wearing gloves, and it's so cool. And then she does that cute thing where she'll like clean herself and just like using her clean white gloves. It's pretty cool. I'm glad the rabbits are all well. But now I know to trust that they will dig their way out of their pastoral residence and make a break for it when they get the chance. Okay, so this is interesting. This sienna is akin to this golden color. It's different. It's an earth tone, and somehow it's different. I think this is like quinacridone gold or something. But this raw sienna, this dirt color, is like similar to the gold but different, and it's not super dark. What am I going to do about that? Of course she's wearing white gloves. There are many things we can manage to do with our creative powers, dear Corinna. I wonder what the context is of like all of these found photos, these old photos. It's like I wonder what's going on. It's a time travel photo. I could put, what could I put? I'm thinking I could add something in here to make it darker. I've got this other dark, earthy color, which I can't remember the name of. Is it burnt umber, maybe? Put some of that in here. Oh, look at that, it's dark. And once I've put some of this in, I'll wrap it up for today. Thank you for joining me. How was everyone with me not showing up for the live streams? It felt kind of like strange not to live stream, and I didn't say I wasn't going to because I didn't realize I wasn't going to. But yeah, we went to the Easter fire, which was cool. This huge big fire, and yeah, that was really big. That's a tradition here. And some of our gardening cuttings from shrubs and trees and stuff was on the fire. It's like a giant communal fire made from everyone's gardening, and who knows what else, where it all comes from. And every Easter, all over the countryside here, there are fires, and it was cool. And I got to dance with fire for the first time in years. I used to do that a lot, play with poi and fire stuff. And I was thinking, a big communal fire event, that would be such a cool place to play with fire. But I didn't take any toys. And then someone I know, I saw that he had a fire staff, and I was like, oh, you have a fire staff. Do you mind if I also play with it? And it was cool, super fun. And it was the first time my kids had seen me like dance with fire, a thing that I used to do a lot of, but I haven't really done it much for a long time. Yeah, it was really cool. And it's a really interesting event because it's like everyone from the village goes there, and sometimes it's like the only time you see people is at this big communal fire. And there's no music. It would have been nice if there were people making music. It's just, now I feel like, because the background's gotten darker, I feel like something in the hair needs to get darker to restore some balance. Are you going to see me dance with fire too? I don't know. I don't know. Not in this room, not here, not during a live stream. I will let you know if there's ever any recorded evidence. I took some photos of my friend while he was doing his fiery thing. I stopped playing with fire. I used to carry around my fire toys with me everywhere I went. My backpack, while I was traveling, had a change of clothes, a few instruments, and fire toys in it. And I would often, whenever the opportunity arose, it was dark and I felt like I could play with fire somewhere, and I played with fire in interesting places. And then at some point, the smell of it is intense and everything smells. And so I just kind of stopped doing it. And I have these knee-high socks full of rice, which I like to use because they don't make you smell like burnt oil. Okay, I think that was good. Just adding some darkness there. And I appreciate you all being here. Tommy, when you're starting a watercolor portrait, do you often have a vision of what you want to achieve with it? I often don't. I want to kind of replicate the values in some way that I'm seeing. But as in this case, I was like, what colors am I even going to use? Like, it's a cool reference image. I love just not using realistic colors, and focusing on the values. And then like in the ones I've been doing is a pretty simple color relationships, like just a few colors, and trying to get it to a point where I feel happy with the values. That's basically what I'm aiming for. Outside, yeah, I won't be playing with fire inside. I might play with bunnies inside. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you, dear friends, for being here. Tomorrow's Tuesday, and every Tuesday we meet in Zoom in the evening and sketch together. So feel free to come and draw with us and hang out in the Zoom room. The link to that is also in the description below this video. Anyone who feels like buying me a coffee or joining my Patreon, you're very welcome. Those links are also in the description. And yeah, sign up to my mailing list because I will very soon be sending out the replay to the very fun workshop on exploring possibilities, which was on Friday, and it was really cool. And thank you to everyone's patience waiting for me to upload that. Thank you for being here. Nana, you missed my lives. Well, here we are again. Thank you for missing them, and thank you for being here. And I'm always happy to entertain those doing boring chores. Put your drawing hand emoji in the chat. That's always fun. Thank you, Elizabeth and Corinna. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, dear friends. I'd love to see your work too. So please share in the Discord server on Instagram. You can tag me, and you can tag Wassel Found Photos, and that will be fun. Thanks, everyone. Take care.